Hello, welcome to the 20th BOH Cameronian Arts Award on set. Today we have the nominees of Best Original Book Musical Theater. We have Terence Toh and Vale Wong, and then Siti Jasmina with us. I will start the question to ask you guys, what does success mean to you?
I guess success is it's okay. So since I'm primarily a writer, so I guess mostly I write stuff. So for me, I guess success is something when it happens when I write something. When generally most people, it's impossible to satisfy everybody. But when I write something that is generally enjoyed and all,
Resonate well.
yes, yeah, resonates well with both the audiences and also that I am personally happy with, basically. Sometimes it's possible, you write something, everybody likes it, you're like, I don't know, I could do better. But if it succeeds for me on both levels, that I'm very happy with it and most audiences are happy, I think I would call that a success.
Oh, great. What about you too?
Saya rasa satu kejayaan apabila kita ada teamwork. Kita dapat a good director, set scenographer, actor yang boleh visualkan, hidupkan skrip saya tu.
Itu yang collectively everybody create a product that
yes.
Like
Sebab,
what you envision.
Because dalam skrip, kalau hanya skrip, dia tak hidup. Sebab kalau novel, dia settle kan, dah siap. Masterpiece dia, novel, short story, poem. Tapi kalau skrip, mesti dipentaskan. So, kalau sukses tu bila kita dapat team yang best.
Faham. Well,
I think success for a writer is just simply having people watch what we do. The moment we get an audience, that's the success because we get to tell the story.
Yes.
That's
why you write at the first place, right?
That's right, and how well we tell it, hopefully it's good, hopefully they want more. But it's sad when we have these great stories and there's no one to tell it to. I think we felt a lot of that during COVID.
Yes.
And this comparison now to have people that may not know you, but they see what you do, they see what you say, and they walk away a little bit changed, a little touched. So that's everything.
That's great. Whereas Terence, can you share with the audience what your production is all about?
Okay, so my production was Dreams the Musical. I wrote it with the very talented, the very lovely Elaine Lee. So the Dreams the Musical, it's basically, I guess you would call it autobiographical. It's based on the life of Elaine. She came from I would say young beginnings, dreaming like a lot of us. A lot of us dream of being performers and all that sort of thing. And so it sort of depicts her journey from a younger dreaming to finding to where she is now in the performing arts line. How you say she's doing quite well for herself. So it sort of chronicles her journey. And it's not, how do you say, some parts have been dramatized and all that sort of thing, but it's also it just covers like her emotions, what she goes through, and I think it resonates with a lot of us, as performers. What she goes through is a lot similar to what a lot of us go through.
So it's more storytelling. There's no message behind it or anything like that, right?
Well, I guess messages. Oh my, yeah. I always I try not to write. This is the message. So I tell the story, and it's up to the audience to watch it and see what message they take from
what
it.
resonates to them with their own path in the street. Okay, that's great. What specific elements of the original story, because I thought life is based on sort of a real life story, right?
Yes.
What any specific element of the original story have been reimagined or transformed in the process?
That's a loaded question. It's okay, they can edit this out, right? Okay. It's one of the characters is based on the president of class, Kuala Lumpur AIDS Society, Andrew Tan. I knew of him peripherally. He's someone that was diagnosed with HIV in 1994. And when he got diagnosed, his doctor called up his family and told the mother, you must disown your son because you may all get it. So instead, of course, his mother did not. And all of this is available on YouTube and Facebook, which is where I found the information. He told me to watch it. He didn't want to tell me himself. He's like, I've done so many interviews. I took that experience of his and I broke it up into two characters. So I play in the musical one character as if Andrew Tan in 1994 had died. How angry would I be? Could I forgive the doctor? Can you imagine being disowned by your mom and your friends and dying? Dying from age is not fun. It's very painful. You drown, you can't breathe. And the other character is played by Kevin, our lead actor. What if he had diagnosed today or last year? What would life be like today? And so we get to see two people with the same diagnosis, but with very different endings. And yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Oh, that's in a way,
But-
yes, that's good. Whereas for just now, I say that I asked Terence if is there any message
Yeah.
behind. So I was wondering, is it necessary for a story in a folklore based musical like yours to uphold a clear moral lesson?
Okay, moral ni saya percaya bila ditonton, penonton yang faham dia akan dapat a different moral mengikut life dia. So kalau dalam hikayat, kisah-kisah hikayat macam ni, dia ada banyak layer. Ada layer yang orang hanya faham, hanya menonton dia punya spektakular. Lagi satu ialah orang akan faham lagi dialog dia. Sebab dialog ni selalunya puitis. Dia bukan just cakap dia nak makan, dia cakap dia nak makan. Dia cakap ada air lagu bahasa dia kan. And then dalam pada proses penceritaan hikayat selalunya adalah satu journey. So macam life kita, it's a journey. Jadi bila saya menulis dengan teman-teman saya yang lagi 4 orang, kami tidaklah meletakkan ini harus ada macam ni, harus ada ni. Tapi bila cerita tu berjalan, kita tahu penonton akan dapat nilai masing-masing.
So it's not necessarily
Bukan kita nak macam mesti kisah ni tentang ni, tak. Maknanya hikayat tu ada satu penceritaan. Macam cerita juga kan, ada satu journey, satu manusia. Bila mereka menonton, dia dapat ini, dia dapat, kita tak boleh give up, katakanlah tu. Itu moral dia kan. Kalau macam ni, kita kena fight. So itu dia dapat. Dia masing-masing akan dapat quality masing-masing.
Then I would ask you guys, because you guys are a writer, when we write something for a production, is it necessarily to have a message?
I think
Dia jadi sendirilah sebenarnya.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned, I try not to put the message in mind. But I mean, I think the important thing is to tell the story, because I think different viewers, as she excellently mentioned, different parts of it, like they might resonate with different parts of it.
Yes.
Sometimes they get messages or ideas that you had no idea, but just came naturally from it. And
That's true. That's true. Because I also often like to go to see something with friends, because I like to discuss afterwards. But you were surprised that everybody got different things.
Yes,
that's
And
true.
then when they pointed out, it also like a moment for you to say, "Oh my God, now you pointed out, I see it differently now." That's a part of the great thing about going to see production, going to see show.
Actually, a good theatre, a good performance, bila after that, bila orang bercakap. Bila kita duduk, bukan kita balik tu, kita terus tidur. Kita balik tu. Tadi cerita tadi, I tak suka lah ini, I suka yang ni. Oh, kenapa dia macam ni, kenapa macam ni? Biar mereka soal, tak apa. Dia tak faham, tak apa. Tapi performance tu hidup. Hidup daripada mereka yang keluar daripada panggung.
I'm sure you also surprised sometime when somebody told you they see certain thing and it bring back a certain lesson or memory. You say, "Oh, at the kejut, I not even think about that," right? It happens to you before.
Yes.
Okay. Through Elaine's story, is nostalgia for childhood dreams a motivation or an obstacle for personal growth?
Yeah, that's, I think, an excellent question, because when it comes to dreams, I think dreams can, in a way, it's a double-edged sword. They can be very positive in that, you have an idea, you have something to motivate you forward. But sometimes, sometimes dreams don't always go the way you want them to. So it's like, they can also be discouraging. You think that, by this age, I'll be like this, I'll be like, but sometimes it just doesn't happen, that sort of thing. Like, I mean, he brought up COVID just now. It's like, I think like, the COVID year, a lot of us had so many plans and so many things. A lot of things got changed, and sometimes but I mean, I think it's good that we have a dream, to anchor us, to keep us, and I
To
think
give a direction.
Yeah. And one of the message of, well, I said there was no message, but one of the themes of Dreams the Musical is that, even if one way, your dream may not come true the way you want, it doesn't mean it's the end.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes you could get it another way or just not your time, but eventually you probably will get what you're looking
Yeah, just
for.
like what you said, during COVID pandemic time, there are people who change career and change it for the better as well, right? Because you never think of it, but making a situation where it changed. So we don't, there's a guideline, but we don't need to die, must do it. Yeah. But some people also sometimes it's not in your capacity to continue with that dream as well, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. How has writing Life Is influenced your understanding of vulnerability in storytelling?
In storytelling specifically.
Yeah.
Soalan-soalan.
Susah. Like all the difficult ones.
Difficult.
Vulnerability in storytelling.
We're very vulnerable here right now.
Because it was, to me, it's even though I know that you guys were acting and singing on stage, but it felt very vulnerable. Like you expose yourself. It's
I understand.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those rare instances where this work isn't exactly about us. It's about people living with HIV. There is the correct answer, and there is the more real answer. Where in Malaysia, it's not easy to have it. It's it's very, very hard, and we don't really care. Malaysia doesn't really. We don't really talk about it. Yeah, I'm very aware of that because we interviewed a lot of people for the musical. We wanted to get our facts right. So we have all kinds. People that are very ashamed. We have those that say HIV is a superpower, which I'm very surprised by. But I understand it too. Yeah, we have those that have wonderful doctors. We have those that have terrible experiences, with nurses and doctors as well. It's really, you get everything. Thrown away from families, those that have great families. So when we get on stage, we have a job. We cannot. One of the things I couldn't do for Life is I couldn't make happy ending.
Yeah.
Like, guys, let's because it's so disrespectful to people that are suffering right now that still may get fired if their boss finds out. So how can I make an ending that's not too boring but very meaningful as well,
and not too sad as well?
No, because
we have too many stories that's too sad.
Or they all die in the end.
Yeah,
that's not okay.
Yes,
We want to give hope, even if it's not true. Because that, I don't know. I'm idealistic, and I still hope one day Malaysia can be a bit better.
Yes.
know.
I think you did well. I really like the way you make it. It's not typical a stereotype of a story regarding AIDS where it's tragic. There is tragic, but we are coping with it. And then every player in the musical were positive in the way that they project the sunny side of things, even though the storyline is not. So that was well done in that aspect. Yeah. For you, if you have an opportunity to adapt theater musical Sakti, Merong, Mahawangsa into a modern setting, how would you transform the show? Because the show was more mystical. It's more quite interesting. I can see it as a film juga, Tapi how will you transform it in the modern setting?
Saya buat, kalau ianya modern setting, saya buat dia sebuah payah corporate macam perniagaan yang besar,
yang ada
satu hierarchy, ada umpaya yang besar, and then another one ni dia nak join dengan satu umpaya lain dalam different culture, different negara, dan cerita tu bergerak di dalam itu. Maknanya hidup yang corporate lah. Semua pakai suit. Ada pistol.
Ada pistol. That sounds interesting.
And then watak Garuda tu kan, kalau dalam hikayat tu dia Garuda yang burung yang fairy tale yang burung kan besar. Kiranya kalau dalam hikayat tu tulis dalam sebelah sayap dia saja boleh menutup satu negeri. Kira dia punya besarnya kan, maknanya
Ada budget.
tapi kita tak ada lah. Tapi maksudnya kalau moden kita nak portraykan Garuda tu macam seorang taiko yang sangat menakutkan lah. Macam tu kan, maknanya sangat menakutkan yang dia boleh buat apa saja untuk hancurkan orang.
Wow.
Sebab dalam hikayat tu macam tu. Itulah.
Hey, that sounds interesting.
You know next year's production.
Yeah.
Mark the calendar. We know.
Yeah.
John,
I would
macam
want
ni
to
cari
watch
sponsor.
that.
Bagus.
Sponsor pening.
Hint.
Very good.
Mahal lah.
Cari corporate sponsor lah.
Yeah. Please,
Yeah,
please,
yeah, I
please.
can put their logo on it as well.
Wow. We would destroy
Macam
everyone.
Empayar Merong kan.
Wow.
Okay, everyone. How has writing shaped your understanding of life?
Wow.
Semua soalan susah.
Sorry.
Right, are we speaking about this musical specifically or just in general?
No, just general when you write.
Well, I guess, the good thing about writing is it allows you to sometimes, you can put your life down, a lot of your writing tends to be shaped by your own experiences. I mean, because like it or not, no matter what story you're writing, you tend to put a little bit of yourself into it, you put characters based on people your values, your thoughts. So sometimes, you can put it down, and when you actually see it written down and then you think about it a little bit, and it sort of gives you a new perspective, like, this is actually how, this person would handle it and all that sort of thing. So for me, I guess it gives me clarity and a different perspective on things.
Siti?
Okay, macam ni Writer, kami ni, writer, kita ada six sense.
Oh.
Kalau orang lain ada five.
Super power.
Orang lain ada 5 panca indera. Kita belajar, kalau kat sekolah kita belajar ada mata, telinga, dengar, mata kita lihat, sentuh, kita rasa. Tapi writer dia ada yang keenam. Kita jangan main, kita marvel. Kita ada sense, ada insting. So bila menulis, kita gunakan yang sense keenam tu. Sebab kita pakai yang 5 tu untuk faham orang. Faham situasi. Katakanlah HIV, cerita kisah live kan. Kita faham baru kita tulis. Kalau tidak, kita tak akan tulis. Mana datang faham tu melalui insting kita. Rasa. So setengah orang kalau menonton orang cakap, rasalah. Mana datang tu? Writer lah. Daripada starting from script. Kalau you baca script you tak rasa, macam you nak direct. Macam you nak berlakon, kalau if you read your lines, tapi you don't understand kan. So that's why writer kena letak rasa tu dulu. Director rasa dia akan, saya percaya kalau saya menulis, saya nak beri inspirasi kepada inspired the director. Saya tak nak dia mengarah skrip saya yang 100%. Saya kata pergi jauh. Expand lagi. Saya nak datang menonton, saya kata, wah, ini dia kan. Saya tak nak apa yang saya bayangkan. Saya nak pergi lebih. Kan? Jadi, itulah maknanya kalau writer ni sebenarnya dia memang akan rasa. Dia akan faham semua orang.
I like writer like that.
I never realized it was so cool. Wow. Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
For you?
Sorry, the question?
How has writing shaped your understanding of life?
I think, I don't know if it's true, tapi apabila kita tulis, when we write, we get to become a lot of people that we're not. Normally, we pretend that we're one type, or maybe 2 types or 3 types. But when you write every single character, and you need to understand them. There's no such thing as, you can make an easy villain. But it's so much richer if you understand why they do what they do, why they did what they did. And if you can share that with the audience in a way that's not too preachy, wow, the fun your actors can have. We are all wrong, we're all right. At any different time, I have my main character, I needed people to like him even though he was going to make a huge mistake. Yeah. And he was going to break up with his boyfriend. So how do I sell that? How do I make that work? That even I would go, you make sense. I don't like it, but you make sense. Yes.
That's how I felt. I was like, I don't like him, but that is a redeeming quality.
And you therefore you can feel sorry for the choices, or you can understand the choices. You make choices like you have to live with it, and then we see him begin to live with it. It's like,
I think everyone is like that. We are all not
Yeah.
likable to everyone. We have our own.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's salah satu ciri a good writer ialah dia tak judge.
Yeah.
Oh, so true.
Never
Yes.
judge. Bila
Yeah.
kita menulis karakter, kita tak boleh hukum dia jahat.
No.
Tetapi situasi tu, orang akan kata, oh dia ni antagonis.
Yeah.
Dia ni hero.
You make them
Kan?
three-dimensional and alive.
Kita tak boleh
with
judge
all
sebab
the-
kita
yes.
menulis untuk semua karakter. Kita tak boleh bias. Kita lebih kat dia, kita kurang kat dia ni. Kalau jahat ni jahat sangat. Mana ada orang lahir lahir terus jadi bunuh orang. Lahir terus jadi jahat tak. Dia membesar by experience kan.
Sometimes
So
it's fun also, you think of this character, you think, oh, he's just going to be a little character
Yeah.
here, but when you write him, suddenly he develops more, he
betul.
years, he becomes, then he becomes more interesting than you thought he would be.
Yeah. betul.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Well, that's all we have for this session. I have learned that being a writer can be a superhero because they have sixth sense.
I've never seen any dead people. Yeah.
Congratulations
Walking
once
Dead.
again to all the nominees. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
See you again next time.